The lesson.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Got the man Flowz in Melbourne, man. How you doing?
Good, my brother. It's good to meet ya.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
First time.
Appreciate you flying down, bro.
Yeah, it's not every interview that we actually, take the time to fly into state to make it happen.
That's it, bro. It was meant to be, cuz. Had to make it happen, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
man. But I remember, Sam letting me know he'd been talking to your homeboy
Yeah.
about trying to make this happen once you got out, and yeah, once we got you on the phone, it was all good.
That's it, my brother. All the stars aligned, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. No, I felt right. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I know there's a lot of people that are, pretty interested to hear your story. You don't do many interviews.
No, that's right. This is my first ever interview in 10 years.
Yeah.
So, glad to be here, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So obviously I want to get pretty deep into the music and all the stories behind the music.
Yep.
But even before the music started, so I guess in some of your songs I heard, references to your childhood, relationship with your old man, all the street shit.
Yep.
So I guess, first of all, you grew up in
Newport.
Which is the west side of Melbourne.
West side of Melbourne, yep.
So tell us a little bit about that, because as someone from Adelaide, my understanding in Melbourne is that the west side is one of the rougher parts.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah. So a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, a lot of low income, a lot of gangs. Just everyone out for their piece of the pie, you know what I mean? Everyone's competing really hard, and look, like it wasn't easy, but at the same time growing up, you're blind to all that, that's just home. That was the norm. So I never really saw it as different to anywhere else, or although I didn't get out to many more places, I pretty much stayed in the western suburbs, that was home. But like the environment you're in creates the man you are, so.
So what year you were born there and you've been there?
No, I was born in country Victoria.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was there till I was about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And my parents split up, and then mum moved to Newport, and then I moved up with mum. Yeah, so about five onwards. And
then, so I guess at around what age did you start, getting into a bit of trouble and dabbling in the street shit?
Oh, early high school, bro. You know. So like, as for most people, like primary school's all good. Then you start getting into high school, start getting a bit older, start experimenting with drugs, and you're easily influenced at a young age, 13, 14, 15. That's when you start to, not follow your parents' rule and start doing stuff for yourself, and you're influenced more by external stuff, So obviously you're not at home as much anymore, so you're hanging out with certain people and certain groups, and so for me, man, about 14, that's when I really started to kick off into the darker side of things,
And then, so I guess at that age, what kind of shit were you getting involved in, like petty thieving and?
Yeah, so from early, man, it just started off as, petty thieving, just small robberies. I was in a graffiti crew from a young age, so a lot of gang fights, a lot of beef between crews, stuff like that. And then, obviously start getting to 15, 16, it steps up a notch, and people start getting stabbed, and people start getting hurt, but just doing normal shit as a kid, stealing cars, breaking into shops, selling chuff, just all that stuff you do when you're young,
So how deep did you get into the graffiti?
Pretty deep, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah. So me and my crew, SAL, we started off, no one knew us, but as the years went on, really got heavy into that. We're painting trains really hard. Yeah, really started making a name for ourselves in the Melbourne graffiti scene. Also do interstate trips up north to Sydney and Brisbane. Started making a name up there. But graffiti, in the early years, man, it was all about graffiti. Obviously when you're young, you want to make a name for yourself, and when you're that young too, like you don't want to make a name, you're too young to make a name for yourself in the drug game or in other areas, because you just don't hold any respect or any weight, So graffiti's a good door in when you're a young lad to really want to start making a name for yourself. But it went on for years, bro. We really went hard with the graffiti,
So that's around what, being 13, 14?
2006, 7, 2008. But the graffiti kept going on till 2014, 15. Really,
Yeah, okay.
really heavy in the scene, bro. Painting trains, wore on other crews over yards, and yeah, sort of. But as you get older and life takes you onto other ventures, you know, like you don't really have time for graph anymore, you know. But yeah, no, we went pretty hard, bro. I was pretty deep in that scene.
And because like this, I didn't know that you had the full on graffiti background. So
Yeah.
what yards were you guys sort of?
Newport yards, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newport yards was the stomping ground. Yeah.
And then did you have issues with people coming into your yards?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, so we'd have blokes coming down from Sydney, wanting to paint the yards, warring with them. Look, if you're from the western suburbs, you know the crew, you know SAL, you know Newport yards, you know that's local, you know. And obviously we had beef with interstate crews coming down, and you know, because at that age, you know, you're very protective of your yard, you know, because graffiti was my life, it was our crew's life, you know. And obviously warring with local crews and that. And some crews you'd partnership with and make shit work, you know. You paint the yard on this night, we'll paint it on that night, just let's communicate, you know. Because obviously you don't want a crew painting a yard on a Saturday night, not let you know, and then you rock up on a Sunday morning and it's red hot, you know. You've had a whole crew do a end to end or a whole set, and you rock up and the jacks are watching it, or so that's where the sort of beef starts, you know. You rock up and the whole yard's been done and you haven't been given no one's given you the mail, so
yeah, right.
You sort of take offence to that, you know.
And then so obviously the graffiti thing's carried on for a while.
Yeah, about 2015.
Yep.
And then yeah, obviously your priorities change, you know. So my priorities started going from painting trains to making money, and painting trains doesn't make any money. You know, you spend the money to paint. Plus, I don't want to go to jail for doing panels, you know. Like, I had a lot of shit going on, a lot of hands in a few pies, money caught up in a few things, so I wasn't risking jail over doing graffiti, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my priorities just changed as I got older, bro.
And then so I guess the money making side of things, at around what age did that, you know, begin?
In my early 20s, man.
Yeah.
So like, I really come from, like, I come from a decent family, you know. Like, and by decent I mean like a loving family, you know. We never had much, but my mum always loved me and always loved my brother and my sister, you know. So I always had the love there, but yeah, like, so I didn't really care about too much growing up. We didn't have much, and I got used to that, you know. But then obviously you start getting in your early 20s, I started seeing other blokes having stuff and rocking nice chains, nice clothes, nice car, and I started thinking, you know, fuck this, like I want that too, you know. And not because they have it, I just want it, you know. I'm sick of having nothing to eat. I'm sick of not being able to pay the rent. I'm sick of wearing racking clothes from Target and Myers. I'm sick of it, bro, you know. So yeah, I started to get my hustle on, bro, and started to step into making some money, you know.
The lesson. Oh, yeah.